Okay, now.
It's just a second, come on.
Hmm?
It's just a second.
Okay, at 7 o'clock, I'll call us to order. Join us in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Item number 2, the agenda. Any additions? Isaac? No. Mark? Barry? Christie?
No.
Casey? Keith? No. With none? Alright, so no additions. Item 2.2, a motion to approve the agenda. Casey?
Second.
Christie?
Are you moving anything?
Huh?
Are you moving anything?
Discuss that. So we asked about maybe moving the student success presentation up to right now, so they don't have to stay here through. Everybody good with that? Yeah. Okay. All right, so Casey moved, Christie seconded, all in favor? 7-0. Okay, I'll let you guys go, unless you want to sit here all night.
I kind of wrote up a thing, but I promise it's not too long. I just didn't want to forget, and since we didn't see each other to plan, I told them kind of our game plan. I'm nervous. Okay, so the road to Cheer Camp 2021. Once the decision was made to go to Cheer Camp, we had a lot of fundraising to accomplish. As a coach, I have taken Spartan cheerleaders to camp for 9 years. I had to count. But 3 years ago, the state rep from varsity contacted me and asked if Deerfield wanted to host. And I was beyond excited, and I couldn't say yes fast enough. The first year, we had 3 middle schools. Don't quote me. I think it was Syracuse, Sublette, and Deerfield. And I was very excited to do it again. So the following year, I set a goal for myself to have 5 teams. Enter COVID. So I set out messaging, emailing, doing all this stuff. And as we got into the pandemic, people weren't traveling and such, all of that we already know. So we were blessed to be able to still have camp last summer, and it was kind of a unique opportunity because we had it with just Deerfield and Lakin, and it still went off without a hitch, and things went really well. So that brings us to the present. But to tell the full story of our camp experience, we need to back up to last spring. So I still had the goal of 5 teams because I hadn't gotten there yet, and I wanted to make this a big deal for Deerfield. In the past, I had also taken a high school, middle school mixed team because summer's busy, kids are busy, and let's be honest, sometimes they don't want to do stuff. Not these guys. So there was a little bit of culture change there that had to happen as well. So come to this spring, the opportunity for the Shrine Bowl came about, and after talking with Mr. Burns, I approached the high school students and the parents, and everyone was very excited. With it being in Hutchinson, it was a very doable thing because the miles were in our range. This meant that the middle school squad was going to hold the responsibility of helping me reach my goal of 5 squads. So we took on the challenge of taking the high school kids to the Shrine Bowl and the middle school kids helping me host the UCA camp. So I set out with my emails and everything again. We had our first of many parent meetings, and we set out fundraising. Another goal that I set for them in this adventure was camp is expensive, and I wanted to be able to do it for very minimal cost to our families. but that meant lots of work. So they were here for it. We started out by doing a 50-50 raffle at the Lake and Deerfield basketball game, which the winner ended up donating the whole thing back to us, so that was awesome. We sold Spartan Spirit shirts. We worked the parking at the Run, Drive, and Fly event at the Kearney County Airport, which we apparently did an amazing job because we have been invited back to do that again next year. So that was really nice that all of our fundraising, some of it was we were able to do service things as well. That same day, we divided and conquered, and we helped the Berbiesca concession stand and sold lemonade. DRC made a donation after we served sugar-free, so we had to be healthy, lemonade slushies at their family fitness night. And we did a pie auction, which was something new and different, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go over, but it was successful as well. And our last fundraiser was an enchilada sale, which I had a minor meltdown, Mr. Esslinger can attest to, because these girls sold 200 dozen enchiladas. And I panicked. But we had a phenomenal, where's flag? A phenomenal group of parents that jumped right in, and it all came together like it always does. So after all of that work, on June 23rd, our 5 high school cheerleaders, along with me and Coach Kaylee, headed to Hutchinson to the Kansas Shrine Bowl to join 180 cheerleaders, the Kansas All-State Masonic Marching Band, and the East and West Kansas Shrine Bowl football teams. Now I will let the girls share with you about their experience. Just tell them about your favorite parts, some of the things that you did.
On the way up there, we just slept there. On the
After
way,
we got there.
yeah, but no, it was kind of crazy because we had to figure out where we were going and stuff. It was new, but it was kind of exciting because you kind of acted like a college kid, and it was nice to have that experience. And then we did a bunch of activities, some of them being canceled because of weather, but they did accommodate us with some different activities, like playing in the gym, where we got to play cornhole and do line is that what they were?
Line dancing.
Yeah, where they play music and we could do line dances and play Jenga and all sorts of other games. And then, of course, the game was super fun, but it was really difficult to prepare because it was difficult for us to remember all the stuff, but we ended up getting it down pretty fast.
Audrey, how long did we practice day 1?
Many hours.
10 hours. After driving to Hutchinson, we had a 30-minute lunch break after checking in, and we practiced for 10 hours straight with only another 30-minute break for supper. Day 1 was tough. Day 2, we went to the Cosmosphere. What did we do at the Cosmosphere?
They showed us the hospital experience, which was pretty interesting, and then we went to the museum, and then we did the obstacle
Team
course
building.
for team building, and it was new for the Cosmosphere, and it was pretty fun. We split into different groups, so we were with other teams.
And the patients did that with us too, right? The patients that were in our group, so that we got to interact and spend quite a bit of morning with them. Day 3 was the banquet, so we got to get all dressed up and go to the Shrine Bowl banquet, and then day 4 was game day. So they got to be in the parade and the football game. So it was a pretty awesome experience. Next year, the Shrine Bowl is in Pittsburgh, Kansas, which is, I feel like, out of our mile range. But I asked the girls on day 2, after the really long day, I was like, would you guys want to do this again? And I wasn't sure what answer I was going to get because day 1 was hard. And they were like, yeah. So I think this might be something that we try to do every couple of years, as groups go through. 2 years from now will be the 50th Shrine Bowl, and it's slated to be in Hays, Kansas. So, but it was definitely a good experience for them. So, so then we get to middle school's turn. And as I said before, my goal was 5 teams. We had 8 teams from 7 schools. Satana brought 2 teams. They brought their high school and their middle school. 82 students, 10 coaches, 5 staff for a total of 97 people that were here this past weekend. The weekend was a huge success. Everything, as far as I know, no one had any complaints. Everyone kept saying, thank you so much for hosting this. We appreciate that there's a place to go that's so close. Just lots of positives. We hosted Lake and Satana, as I said, brought 2 teams, Syracuse, Sublette, Hugoton, and Golden Plains, which actually stayed in a hotel. That was our farthest guest. And we took 12 out of our 15 middle school cheerleaders. And the 3 that did not attend camp were actually out of town with their families. So that was a huge success in and of itself as well. Your turn to share. Tell us about camp. What was your favorite parts?
My favorite part about UCA Cheer Camp was all of the energy and how well everyone learned to work with each other. And even though some of our teams, like let's say Lakin and Deerfield, we were divided at first, we became really close at the end of camp, which I thought that was amazing, how we learned to get along, work with each other, and we built up our communication skills, which I thought was great.
What was your favorite part?
Well, UCA, they were like very patient with like us when we at first couldn't get our dances like really good. They were very patient and would go over it with us. And the way like all the teams just like connected with each other.
So they went through 3 days of also pretty intense cheer workout. You know, there's mental part to all of that too. In the game day competition on day 3, they got 2nd place with their dance routine in the middle school division, and they also won the most improved trophy. So we came home with 2 trophies, which was pretty awesome. Along with that, because Deerfield doesn't have places to go to lunch, we brought in Papa John's on Friday, Subway on Saturday, and on Sunday they got, yours truly made him a taco bar. So there was a lot going on. Kaylee's not here tonight, but I can't even imagine trying to do what we did this summer without help. And she's amazing. Like I don't know, you would think we'd known each other longer because we're just always like on the same page. And she's actually not here tonight because she's getting ready to take another group of kids to church camp tomorrow morning, I believe. So, but I wanted to give her credit as well. As also Gilbert helped a lot. Our maintenance staff helped me a lot get things set up and make sure everything was ready to go. So, what's up next for the Deerfield cheerleaders? We have Deerfield Days, which is another community service project which we do yearly and have for a long time. We help with the water games Friday night, Saturday afternoon for the kids. We'll also have the high school girls helping with Berbiesca Concessions Lemonade Stand again Friday and Saturday evening. Chachi's Day is the first weekend in August. Another community service day for us. We help with the children's games during that scholarship event, and we've done that for a while, so that's coming up. Our pink night, our little Spartan cheer clinics, and just the most important thing, cheering for our Spartans. But I just kind of wanted to use this opportunity to just really brag on them because they're so busy during the year, and cheer is just one of the many things that they do, and sometimes I don't think they get highlighted as cheerleaders enough, so they're pretty amazing, I think. So anytime I get to brag. And one last thing, front page famous. And middle school year pictures as of this afternoon have been emailed too, so we'll be looking for those next week, hopefully.
In my line of work, if you get your picture in the paper, you have to buy everybody you work with supper.
Uh-oh.
Right, Casey?
Yeah, if you're on TV, it's steak.
So anyway, we appreciate your time very much for letting him come in. I was super proud of him and I wanted to share it.
Thank you.
Congratulations, girls.
Good job.
Good job. Okay, number 3, election of president and vice president. president is first.
Jared.
Yeah, I was gonna nominate Jared.
Nobody died.
I guess I'll second
Yeah,
your
honest.
nomination.
You've done good enough for the job.
So who was that?
That was Jamie.
Huh?
Mark
Who
and
was that?
Christine.
Mark and Kristen. Any more discussion on that? All in favor? Alright. Vice president. Don't everybody jump.
I would nominate Keith.
I'll second that.
You good with that? Casey and Mary. Any more discussion? All in favor? 7-0. All right, number 4, the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of our meeting from the 14th, June payroll, check report, treasurer's bank account, reconciliation report for June, the June AP check report, cash summary report, high school, middle school activities report for June, a list of purchases, the waivers, fees, and authorization approvals. They're all included in the packet.
I was gonna say, did anything change from the packet we sent out?
What is this?
You can vote now.
I can click it and then you can all vote.
So it tallies the votes within the agenda.
So you're entering that? You entered that?
Yeah, it's just, they just
And
add
then you
it.
can do it if the board
So
members
you
say.
can do it, how do you
Yes.
do it?
It pops up on your screen.
It pops up when
I don't know where, I'm not.
I do roll call still, so it'll pop up.
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
like a
It pops up a little window.
little window that
So I
says all
just did
voted
it.
Do you
yes.
want us to do it?
I haven't seen that. I don't know how you do that.
It's up to you.
Marcy.
No.
Do it?
I'm gonna keep up this way.
Come on, Mark.
Okay,
Alright,
I sent your
will-
recommendation in too.
make the motion to approve the items on the consent agenda.
Second.
Christie and Mark, any more discussion on any of that? All in favor? 7-0. Open forum.
It'd be me.
Okay. What can we help you with, sir?
You ready? Okay, 2 items. One is the rent structure I'm currently under. And the other one has got to do with Deerfield Rec, but you already have Deerfield Rec on the agenda. Would you like me to table that and wait till you discuss that?
What about it? Let's start there.
The future of the skate park, and then also questions on why you guys went ahead and advertised after we had already advertised the board members for an open position.
Because it's the school's appointments.
Right, but it's not the school's responsibility to search for those.
Absolutely it is.
Well,
We're the ones appointing.
okay. Well, back to the first agenda, because I only got 5 minutes. The classification of the rent, that's fine, I understand you can charge whatever rent you want. My question is, I would like you to readdress the point that you put part-time help with non-employed, as opposed to putting part-time help with full-time. Because what that did was increase my rent over 40%. And I'm an employee of the school. So I don't know if it was unintentional or what the thinking was for that, but, you know, when I answer the call, 40% increase in my rent is kind of tough to take. I understand. I guess I don't understand the reason for it. So I'm just asking you to re-review it.
Okay, I mean, we can look at it again. I think the line has to be drawn somewhere, in my mind. And part-time employees don't get full-time benefits,
Exactly.
so that, in my view, is somewhat of a benefit.
As far as,
A reduction in rent.
no, I'm currently paying, if I was still in line with full-time, I'd still be paying the current amount. If I was living in duplexes, I wouldn't even be here.
What do you mean?
Because for full-time staff, you lowered that rent amount for the duplexes. In my house, you raised it for part-time and non-employed, over 40%.
Well, I think we just brought it up in line, both of these houses, closer to in line with what the duplexes were.
Right, but there's huge differences between age, upkeep. I mean, I have an established lawn that I have to maintain the cost of watering. I'm sure Tyson can vouch for the cost of that, because he has to do his lawn. You don't have lawns over at the duplex. Even though it's in the rental contract, if it's general for everybody, then, so. And that's all I'm asking is to review it, because, you know, I don't understand why part-time would go with non-employed as versus full-time,
We can look at it
so.
and see. I mean, I'm not gonna make any promises, but we can look at it.
Okay. And then is there any future plans for the skate park or, oops,
My suggestion was for him to talk to the city for the county. I think the county should, you know, my 2 cents or my opinion, and $7 will get you a cup of coffee, but I think I should talk to the county about giving them that north parking lot, north of Chachi's.
okay, well, the issue is it was a joint effort between the city, the rec, and the school. It was equally paid for and constructed 33.5% between all three entities. So some of the questions is, what's gonna happen to it? Why did they move it?
Move it to the
So-
housing.
Well, no, I understand that, but a lot of people don't. So, but yeah, I mean, whatever you wanted to, any ideas come up, Deerfield Rec would love to hear them. We have ideas what possibly might be able to do with it, but there is a little consensus out there to get it somewhere and get it set back up.
We're definitely not opposed to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open anytime, ask me questions or any ideas, anything, because
What's the rec want to do with it?
right now, we thought about, one possible was in the tennis court. We thought about maybe down southwest in the corner of the, past the grass pile, configure that in with a possible trail. And then also, like you mentioned, in the parking lot that the county owns, we looked behind Chachi's, we looked behind the fitness center. There's all kinds of ideas out there what to do with it.
When I was driving around behind Chachi's, actually, to me was,
So,
because it's not concrete now,
true. No,
and you could pour the right kind of concrete to make it smooth and do what you need to do. But
and then the only other thing was the candidate that you guys need to approve so we can get back to a full commission.
yeah, and that is on the agenda,
Have we, any more other than the one we had?
not that I've seen. We just have one letter.
Really? See, it's an ongoing problem. I'm sure you all understand that in any aspect. Civic duty today is really, really lacking. So,
Yep. So, yeah, we'll do something with that later.
you don't need me for the Deerfield rec?
No, that's all that's on there is that letter.
All right.
We need to get it more, so.
Okay, well done.
All right,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, very good student success. Not good as far as crime. Communications, correct. Board members' reports, correct?
Just don't have to go into that now. No, I'm just ready for Deerfield Days. Everything's a go for it. Yeah, we need to find another board member pretty quick. It's getting tough. Same 3 people there all the time. Make sure you have the 3 there. So.
The open spots are on the rec board, just one.
See, we need to figure out what positions are open when. Because
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Top of my head.
we should have a couple of appointments for that every couple of years.
You appointed,
I think it'll come.
it's Morgan on there?
Mhm.
You appointed Morgan last summer. I remember that in
Yeah.
July.
There's 2 positions that the school board controls, I believe. We did. And then, as far as direct appointment, and then you have 2 at large.
Pretty sure we appoint 4 and 5.
Well, don't we have to appoint all of them at some point in time?
I think
No.
one they appoint.
I don't, would have to double check. I thought there was 2 when I was on the board, the rec board.
Well, that's just it. We need to find out because there's
You
so many
have-
things that is.
No, you're right, because you have a direct board member, and then you have,
Which is our choice. We don't have to do that. We've
Don't
just
have
always
to.
done it. One of our board members is,
because there's 3 positions total, or 5 positions total.
and we appoint 3 more, plus a board member.
I don't know, I just,
And I think
I don't remember, I know it has something to do with the way, because their funding is dependent upon us, as far as like filtering
Yeah, it's just a.
and stuff, which,
We'll find out.
Yeah, because they should have to come to us to at least approve who they want on them.
And they should have to submit a letter every time they're up, every 4 years.
Which I've done, that's how I remember, because I was looking through stuff from last year. Morgan submitted, and you guys approved that last year. And then like on the advertising piece, Lakin, I mean, I just took what Lakin School Board advertises for their rec positions, and so I just took what they did and ran it in the paper for 2 weeks. So,
Well, I'm just adamantly against like handpicking your board and handing us a letter of interest or a letter of resignation at the same time. This person's resigning, this is who we want to take their spot.
Needs to be advertised.
Yeah, the hard part is that you don't have people lining up to do it,
I know,
so.
Yeah.
but we gotta at least try.
That way, you still gotta
Right.
advertise for it in case there is somebody out there.
Now, if people want to complain about it, we can say, it ran for 2 weeks in the paper,
Right,
we waited a month, still only had the 1 letter, so.
Right.
yeah.
It's on you now, Melvin Webb.
on it.
Hi, Melvin.
Okay, I plan
So Southwest Plains was just talking about the new teacher boot camp on July 28th coming up. That sounded really like a good thing. And then they talked about having, like, I don't know, are we a career tech ed school? I thought we were, okay. And then they talked about how they gave a 1-year subscription to NEPRIS to all the schools, which is cool. Sounds like a cool thing. they had three resignations, one contract for a teacher and then one contract for audiology. And then on August 18th, they're gonna have a translator training for paras. And High Plains is paying for that, for any para. So, I don't know if that sounds like a good deal. And that, it was a good thing that there wasn't going to be a percentage increase on the assessments for the schools this year. They'll just have assessments if they have more kids. I mean, they'll have an increase if they have more kids, but not a percentage. It'll be a flat rate assessment. So that was a good thing. And then also last month was Marcy's last meeting. She is officially retired. And then on August 5th is the all staff in service for High Plains.
August 5th?
August 5th. Do you have any questions about anything?
Great. On to administrative reports.
Me?
Or you?
Nothing legislatively, really.
Russ. Did you get Russ's deal?
Who?
Russ?
Russ.
Jenny?
I ain't getting from him.
The other day, you don't get his updates? He sent out in his email deal that he was recently diagnosed with pretty aggressive cancer.
Oh, gee.
So he's seeking treatment, but he will not be seeking re-election. His goal is to finish out this term, but which may not be great.
Yeah.
Because he is more moderate than
Yeah, he's been good
A lot.
for education. So, well, no, I don't get his updates. So. There's a lot, I mean, just nationally, there's a lot with CRT, critical race theory and things like that and stuff. And there's some state legislature people up in Topeka that they had a meeting the other day to talk about rules and stuff, I guess, for next coming up sessions or whatever. And some of the legislatures started in on that and started taking shots at the State Board of Education and essentially questioning why we have a State Board of Education if they're not going to take a stance and support and help school districts and topics and things like this and stuff. So the state board has their meeting tomorrow, their board meetings tomorrow and Wednesday, and so that will be addressed, I'm assuming, at the State Board of Education and stuff. So but that wasn't even on my deal. I just uploaded in terms of facilities, the facility transportation stuff on there that just request and things like that, and then the transportation request. Just to report back on the weight room you guys have talked about, I talked with Mr. Burke and Coach Radford and Coach LaRue, and they got together and went in and adjusted it a little bit and tried to put stuff, move it around. They're putting together a list of equipment that would help eliminate some of the equipment, but allow them to continue to do some of the stuff they need to do, but would free up some space. And so they've done their best to adjust it but to keep it functional for what they're trying to accomplish with the kids in the weight room. So I told them to put together a list, and we can start looking at different equipment and stuff over time. Adding power racks and different things like that. And eliminate some different things and stuff, so facility needs assessment was done the end of June. They gotta finish up a couple of projects and then they're gonna get started on the write-up and everything. They're hoping they can come over in August. I'll get with them at the end of this month and see if they'll be ready for an August board meeting. And we'll put them on the agenda to have them come present their findings to you. If not, it'll for sure be September that they would be ready for it by then, so. I think everybody just needs to prepare themselves, staff, you guys, community, for a lot of the stuff that's going to be on this isn't flashy, unfortunately. It's not what I call sexy that people are gonna see a lot of and different things like that, but it's things that have to be done, like plumbing and.
Yeah, they'll see the sewage backing up.
Yeah.
Then we went to rain too, wasn't it leaking in the new gym again?
Yeah, we've fixed it, I believe, so, but yeah, roofs, plumbing, probably HVAC stuff
So what happened with the AC this weekend?
and everything.
Cause there was like no AC, I guess, why they had the UCA camp here? I don't know.
I don't know.
There's not enough AC in the old gym anyway.
Oh, okay, well maybe that was it, cause they had moved from the new gym to the old gym or something. Happened, I'm not sure what happened
It's
there.
never had AC in it.
Yeah, okay.
We were in the old gym.
Yeah,
For the
well, and I
presentation.
thought they started out in the new gym and had to,
They
maybe it
started
was
to.
the rain then instead.
No, the AC quit,
Yeah,
is what they
that's what I
told
In
me.
the new gym,
And it definitely didn't have any in the old gym. It was
it never
boiled
does.
hot.
Yeah, so it was really, I mean, I didn't think Sunday was bad, but I know Saturday the girls were.
McCurdy's first week of basketball practice. I think it's the hot box.
I'll check with Gilbert, he hasn't let me know if there was any
You
issues.
requested to crank the heater up.
So, yeah, I just think everybody has to understand that we've got some big issues that have been neglected, and we can't keep putting Band-Aids, there's really no more Band-Aids, there's no more kicking it down the road. We're proud of USD 216, we're proud of everybody that works here, our students, and we want them to have great facilities and resources, and we've gotta start working on those type of things, so. Hopefully, in the next year and over the next few years, everybody gets to see some of this stuff, but, I don't know, they made some recommendations. One thing, if you leave here, we had mold issues in the high school classrooms, that's all been removed and taken out, but all of that, glass brick that was there, that was covered up by sheetrock, they did go in there and they did make the recommendation to just paint over it and not waste the money on putting sheetrock and stuff back over it, because that's going to be one of their big recommendation areas, because there's issues with the roof above those areas. And so taking that out, putting in some big type windows, not necessarily all the way across there, but to help with lighting as well, and then fixing the fascia and stuff like that that's above the roofs that's causing issues and stuff. And so they said, unless you just absolutely want to spend the money to put the sheetrock over it, they would just recommend getting some paint and painting over the glass brick for right now and leaving it as is. So that's what we were gonna do, so. The other thing, visiting with Gilbert and different things, and I don't know how to fix this yet, but we're having issues with community members. It's nice that they can use the track, but they're using it like a dog park, and they're taking their dogs off, letting their dogs off the leashes, and then their dogs are crapping everywhere and they're not picking it up, and sand pits and everything, our kids practice down there. So I don't know, we'll probably try to make some signs and stuff to post around and everything. I don't wanna have to lock the track up, but it's not right that our kids are gonna be down there practicing football and stuff and falling in dog crap and everything. So we hope that people can just take care of it. We're also finding lots of bottles and things on the actual football field that people are leaving behind and stuff and everything. So once again, we want everybody to be able to use our stuff and enjoy it and everything, but we need everybody to help keep it picked up and looking nice and stuff, so. Other than that, projects are coming along, we're getting closer and closer. They won't all be done by the time school starts back, and never is that way, but we are getting the ones that we need to have done. Keyless entry system's about done finally. That's been a process. We're here right before you guys got here. Hopefully this building's done. That was their goal, just to finish this building tonight, and then tomorrow and over the next day, finish the elementary school. So, but by the end of this Thursday, it's supposed to be all completely done and everything. So we'll be able to enter keylessly and do some of those type of things. We'll get you all key cards so you can enter with just scanning and stuff and everything. So, but what else? Talked with the roof people today. Hopefully the adjuster finally got his report submitted on Thursday evening. So they were hoping to look at it at the start of this week and look at all the recommendations and stuff, and maybe by the end of this week, we will have a decision on what's gonna happen with our roofs and everything, so get a plan together for getting those fixed and stuff, so. Some of our AC units got hail damage as well, so we've got people out looking at those as well to fix those and brush those and different things like that too, so. There. ESSER 2, we've requested our first ESSER 2 funds, which the new Chromebooks, the touch screens at the elementary school, those type of things. So we'll keep you updated as we request and how much money we have left in ESSER 2. I did attach on your agenda the ESSER 3 award grant letter. We have until 2024 to spend that, but at some point we'll have to put together a plan and submit that plan to the state, just like we did with ESSER 2, but we'll get there. That's not a pressing issue right now because we've still got ESSER 2 funds available. So, dang it. Climate surveys from the district, I shared those with you. I shared both. I think I'd shared, we'd looked at the ones from the start of the year, but I added those in there, and then the end of the year, I forgot to print that off. Sorry. Just a second. While I'm doing that, I'll jump over to financial updates real quick so we save time. The lots are closed on, the residential lots are closed on, so those are now Benita's Construction's lots. We got the check from the closing and everything, and it's been deposited and stuff, so they started tearing out the trees up by the principal's house today. They're supposed to have those done by tomorrow, I think, the end of the day, and then Gilbert and them will get started on those fences and stuff after that, so.
Okay, so who's responsible for the duplexes? The tenants are, the people who live there are responsible for like the upkeep outside with all the weeds?
Yeah, they're supposed to be taking care of the weeds and stuff, and then we're supposed to, we have a letter that we send them, and then if we have to go and do it, we're charged them and everything and stuff, so. But I haven't drove by there, I'm guessing that the weeds are probably
Well, I
tall.
had a community member say something to me, so I drove by there the other day and.
They're tall.
Yeah, they're tall,
Alright.
so I wasn't sure what the process for that was.
Yeah,
It looks like somebody might have sprayed a few of them and they're dead, but they're still standing.
I know Gilbert had Mike go down there, cause we were spraying just around, and so he told him to go down there and just spray
Yeah.
and stuff and everything, but it is their responsibility to
Okay.
Are they
keep the,
supposed to be planting grass?
Well, it's all rock, which
Oh, it's
I
in
don't
the
know.
backyard.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
in the
are we
in the
keeping
front.
up on,
There's nothing in the contract that says anything about, I don't know what that deal was, there's nothing in the contract about planting grass or anything like
Okay.
that.
I couldn't remember.
Didn't the district do that initially?
That's what I thought,
Well,
but
we
I thought they
paid
were supposed to.
all the money and ran all the sprinkler systems for up front. And, they were gonna go in and do the backyards, and I don't think we ever did it. That I remember. I know we did
So
the
there are
fences.
sprinkler systems, or there, I don't even,
Yeah,
there
up
are
front.
sprinklers in the, but not in the back,
I don't think there is in the back.
yeah. So,
I don't remember. I know we did the fences and
So the weeds are growing up in the rocks.
Yeah,
Is what-
it
okay.
was just those, cause the front part where the rock comes out.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're pretty, I mean, I can't say anything, I had pull weeds all day Saturday at my house because of all the rain we've gotten, but, so I don't know if, like, what needs to be done or help them, or I don't know, cause we've gotten quite a bit of rain, I think, for us this year so.
yeah, and I'm sure we'll probably get, like,
Community member voiced a concern on it, cause
Yeah.
they thought it was the school's responsibility, so.
which ultimately we've either got them, get them to do it, or we gotta do it and handle it, so. And I'm sure we'll probably get some calls, and if you get talked about, I mean, it's now Benitez's responsibility to mow those lots and keep up with those lots and stuff and everything, so. But I'm sure people, until they figure that out, will think that it's us supposed to be doing it, so. But we'll address them when those come and stuff, so. But And then the weeds around, I don't know if you drove around, Gilbert was sending our renter up at the principal's house a letter because the weeds around that house are getting tall, like right next to the house and the rock beds and stuff and around the concrete. It doesn't look good, so and then I drove by there today and I don't know if they don't have the sprinkler system on or what's going on, but one corner of the front yard is getting pretty dry and stuff and everything, so I was gonna visit with Gilbert about that, so make sure that they don't lose the front yard, make sure it's being watered.
We're gonna have to fix that.
Yeah, we were working on it, so, yeah, we're working on it. So,
As we need to dig it all, we're gonna have it.
yeah, now we're getting that switched over and fixed. Yeah, so, all right, so back to the climate surveys. So we do them at the start of the year, and then we do them at the end of the year. The principals and I, when we talked, they thought it would be useful to break them apart by buildings and stuff a little bit. They're all anonymous, but still just to break them apart. And so like the 6th through 12th grade survey that you see on there and the pre-K through 5 survey, that's the same survey, it's just broken out by building. And so all the certified teachers in the elementary school get that one, pre-K through 5, and all the 6th through 12th grade certified teachers in the middle school, high school get that one. And then we have a classified one that goes out to all of our classified. So when you think about that, that's everybody, that's custodians, paras, all maintenance folks, everybody on the classified side of it and everything, so. I don't know if anybody has questions or anything. You know, overall, there's, like around the PD part of it, that they were all spot on with. I felt like we're working towards personalized professional development. We're not there. We're not gonna be there next year. But trying to figure out how to best personalize professional development for all of our staff so that it's geared towards working towards district goals and everything, but it's focusing on things that they're wanting to grow in and get better at and everything, balancing that with things that we see from our data and different things that we know that we need to work on and stuff. And so, but we do, ultimately that's our goal, is to make professional development meaningful and things like that. It was good to see, you know, across the board, everybody feels like our kids can change, can get better, have that growth mindset type of thing, which is important, that we believe that can happen, and we got to pass that on to our kids. I think this is true everywhere. You see in the elementary one that, you know, that's the staff feels like our kids are really resilient. Like if they fail, they try again, try again. When you look at the 6th through 12th one, it's not that way. It's not as strong there. They feel like that after they fail, they might not try again. They, you know, and different things like that. And so we got to figure out how to, as they get older, to continue that growth mindset, and that failing is absolutely okay, and that to keep trying at it. The first time shouldn't be the last time. That's what's wrong with our grading system. Academics, I mean, we don't do ourselves any favors in the education world when we turn a paper in and that's the only shot that you get at it. And so you get a bad grade on it or whatever, and here you go, you know, maybe go over it or whatever, like one and done. That's what a lot of our grading system is like and stuff and everything. And so we want to help change that, and because help cultivate that mindset that the first time's not going to be the best time. Like you do it the first time, anything you do the first time, you're not good at it. And so trying to go there. I think in overall, you know, I think there's a lot of change. There's a lot of things going on last year, and so we hope that as these changes keep going and we keep moving forward with them and getting better at them and stuff, that our climate and our culture continues to rise and everything. Change is always hard, and so I think that you see that throughout the survey as well in different spots. So
that was going to be my big thing, is reading a lot of the written responses on the 6th through 12th. I get some of them were probably employees that were leaving, they probably went ahead and filled it out, but it's a lot. It was more negative than I was hoping it would be.
Yeah.
And it seemed like communication was a big factor in that, and that's probably something that really needs to be worked on this next year with that team.
Yeah.
So, cause that's what I took away from a lot of that. They just felt like, they weren't being communicated with, that they didn't know what was going on, and they could have. And like I said, I know some of this is disgruntled employees probably too, but, you can see their frustration in it big time.
Yeah.
So,
So I noticed the difference between the two buildings.
a huge difference between the two buildings. Granted, the grade school only had 7 responses, but they're still pretty positive. Part of that is probably because people might not feel like their opinion matters, and we hope to change that, would be a big thing. But there is definitely a big response difference, and I think that speaks to a lot of different things.
And that was about, just for your information, that's about half on both.
Mm-hmm.
I think there should have been about 13 or 14 responses in the
Yeah.
elementary and about the same in the middle school, high school.
And there's only 9 in the middle school,
Yeah,
high
there's
school.
9 in the middle school, high school 7, so
I
not
noticed
quite,
that.
right around half in both of those surveys. This classified survey was really bad. There should have been about 31 responses and there was only like 7 or 8 in the classified, so.
I think it'll just be interesting to see what like next year's end of survey will compare to this one.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be if it's negative like this next year, then something's going to have to change.
I can tell you that we did a survey like this 4 or 5 years ago,
Uh-huh,
maybe longer, same thing.
very negative.
Yeah, the elementary was great,
Uh-huh,
high school was not.
I think there's a feeling there too that they don't think it's really anonymous.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've even,
So I
yeah.
don't know how you
I
can
don't-
explain that, or how, I don't think they wanna be honest and tell what they think, because they think they can go back and see.
Yeah.
I think
And
it's
we
because
can't.
it's a computer.
Yeah.
If you give hand one a paper, they might feel more comfortable. I don't know how you go about that, but
I even took a screenshot of the settings to show that the settings were set not to collect
right.
names or
Uh-huh.
anything. And I sent it to everybody and said, hey, just try. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll keep talking about it and stuff.
Yeah, I
but,
think they just need to realize, kind of like what Casey said, they did it 4 years ago, and then we're seeing it now. Like, we don't know who said this, and we need to know where
What
the
are some of those
problems.
comments? I know exactly.
You know.
who wrote
Yeah.
them. Because I've heard the exact same thing come right out of my mouth.
So, that if they do that, that will tell us if the climate's really changing or
Well,
not,
the other
because
side
you have
of
to get
that-
to root cause if it's not
Well,
changing.
the other side of that is the comments, I read the comments more than the pie graph and
Right.
stuff, just to see
Mhm.
if they really want us to know what's going on, they need to fill it out.
Mhm.
Well,
I
with
mean,
any survey,
And it's a way for them to do it anonymously, to let us know what's going on in their minds.
with most of those though, unless it's really stressed and they're gonna have to get some pressure from peers to do it too. But, I mean, it's no different than any of us. You get a patient satisfaction survey from the hospital, the only time you fill it out is if you're really happy or you're really pissed.
Yeah.
True.
If you're like neutral, you're not gonna waste your time.
Do I have time to do it? But it
And
doesn't,
if there's something that comes out of it, and if there's some changes made next year based on the comments,
Mhm.
and they can see that
It does
their
make a
voices
difference.
are heard,
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I think
and
that's
it
the
does
biggest
affect
thing.
some change, then maybe you'll get better buy-in, but
And that's the point of it. I mean, I shared this with both Mr. Burns and Mrs. Ball, and, told them, like, when they come back, we're gonna look at this and talk about this. And we have to, there has to be action, because then
Mhm.
people don't fill it out. I mean, nobody's gonna take the time if they don't feel like, and at least talked about and addressed, and it's a conversation thing. I mean, it's,
I think the things in here that repeat are the things that really need to be addressed, because not everybody hopefully was disgruntled that filled it out, so.
so, but. But we will, yeah, that's, we have to, and it is what it is. I mean, it's like, I don't take any of this personally.
It's
I
just a
wanna,
tool to
yeah,
use
I
to
wanna,
improve.
it's another source, like the communication stuff I'm super interested in. I mean, trying to dive into that more, if it's building-wide, district-wide, what is that? Because I feel like we tried really hard to, at least I feel like I've tried and really hard to keep everybody in the loop. I drop the ball just like everybody drops the ball every once in a while, but so yeah, but if that's a problem still, what do we need to do to try to make it work, so.
What was it, I heard one time that you're the CRO, Chief Reminding Officer, you have to say something 7 times
Yeah.
over and over again, as frustrating as it might be for you, you are the CRO.
Yeah.
So, just FYI.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's biblical, it's 7 times 77 times.
Exactly. Doesn't matter how many times you say it, you still gotta repeat it.
So, but, yeah, and if you dive into it more and you wanna have conversations, that's great, we can. There's a lot of information there, but, that all comes from Panorama, that's not something it's a climate survey that Panorama, which is a really good education company, created, and you can download their stuff for free, and so I just downloaded it and put it together on a survey and stuff, and it's, the way the question's asked and the responses is all research-based, and it's supposed to give you better feedback and stuff and things, and so.
I think the feedback was good, so I think it's interesting when there's something in the grade school one where it was all yellow because they were, what was that one? I thought that one was interesting,
Yeah.
definitely something that would be positive.
Yeah.
Because it had to do with students, I can't remember now what it
Yeah.
was.
You see, yeah, you saw on the elementary side, I think our teachers were very confident, I mean, in what they were doing and their abilities and different things like that and stuff, using resources, finding resources, dealing with, you know, difficult students or, you know, students who maybe not speak the language and different things like that and stuff. And it's good to know those things about resources and different things, which we're trying to address. You walk outside there, if you noticed in that little window area, that's all new curriculum and resources and stuff. So, you know, there's a classroom in elementary that's full of it too, so. And then just the last thing, financially, back to finances, is we met with Matt Medill, our new auditor, last week. He helped us with the end of the year stuff, closing out and making sure that they were gonna be happy when they came in October to do our audit. It's already scheduled for a week in October, our audit and everything, so. He had some concerns about balances that we were carrying in some of our funds and that it was costing us money because the budget, the state, if you carry high balances like that, the state will force you to spend them down by not giving you all the money that you're supposed to get and stuff. LOB, our 08, is one that he was really concerned about. And we kind of looked after he left, just as we were, Raina, I shouldn't say we, Raina looked and then she shared, but we were carrying balances in our 08 LOB budget that like Holcomb and Lincoln are carrying. And to put that into context, like what Holcomb gets like 3 million in their LOB, and they carry about 200,000 or a little more over every year. That's what we're carrying over every year, and we get like 700,000 and everything. And so he wanted that spent down more and everything. So with some of the stuff that we did with him, we transferred over about $95,000 into contingency reserve. We've talked about contingency reserve. It was about $234,000, which isn't enough to cover a month of expenses for us, and so now it's almost up to $324,000 or whatever, and so it's in a lot better place. And we could go wherever we want with contingency reserve. You know, if we get this needs assessment, and we need to take some money out of there to help with different things and stuff, we can pull money out of that. So, but we do, our contingency reserve is looking a lot better than what it was and stuff. So. And now we're almost finalized. We've got a meeting with Craig on Thursday to go over our budget for next year, KSDE, and then we will have that ready to go. Thank you, legislature, for the revenue neutral rate. I texted a longtime superintendent today and said, have you got your revenue neutral rate figured out? And I won't use all the figurative language back in the text message that he got back, but essentially he just spent an hour on the phone with KSDE working on trying to figure it out. I said, well, that doesn't make me feel any better. So. But, well, hopefully at the Craig meeting on Thursday we'll be
Done?
Yep.
Questions? Alright, 8.1, we have this on here because we tabled it last month. Talked with Tyson before the meeting. Recommendation from the architects was, wouldn't do anything at all until after we know something. So I would say, I mean, my view on it is let's just drop it until after we know.
Cause some of those fixes may be part of our need assessment, so why fix it now to, is that what you're
Tear it up.
saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
Is that what the architect said? Is kind of-
Yeah. Yeah.
if they're gonna be here next month.
They don't want us spending money and then
Tearing it out.
tearing it out, or
Fixed
it gets,
out.
something happens and then we have to tear out what we just did or do something. So,
Yeah, I agree.
So everybody good, just drop it rather than
For now, yeah.
kicking it down the road, and then we'll bring it back up when the time comes.
And I talked with Gilbert on that. There's a spot right in front of the elementary, if you've been up there, like, it's really bad, like the concrete's really out of there and stuff. And so he's gonna go in there and kind of knock it out and try to just smooth it over so that there's not that big of a hole and
How
stuff.
big is the spot?
I don't know. It's big.
We just cut it out
That's what I think he's like.
completely,
Gravel back in.
drill some holes in there, put some rebar in there, pour it.
Okay.
Alright, 9.1, board member positions.
Yes.
Open that up. Don't have it in front of me. Where did I get that?
You got who was there last time?
Compliance was Christie.
Mark was the alternate,
However you guys wanna do it, but
Rick was,
after December, I would.
Christie's bailing on us.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
You will?
Yeah. Unless somebody else wants to.
We've had board members in the past that volunteered for that only because they got webs.
Oh, that's right, I forgot about that. I'm out.
I told Tyson before the meeting, it's not worth it to me. I can eat webs whenever I want.
They do require two alternates too.
Mark is gonna be our guy. Harry,
What time of day are they at?
It's a
The
Thursday
evening.
evening.
The evening? Thursday?
you ain't got nothing else to do.
Well, she'll have
On
on the
middle school
Thursday,
games.
junior high.
Yeah, I got middle school games.
You'll never have to, you'll get all of them.
I was gonna say, if you can wait until basketball season before you, like, can't go to something, then we're
He's nice,
good.
Well-
I guess.
Cause Addie doesn't play
It makes-
basketball,
Okay.
so I'm good.
Alright, so Mary's gonna be an
I
alternate.
can do it. So you just gotta make every fall one, please.
And Keith.
Dang. He's.
Perfect.
When does this go into effect?
Now, immediately.
As soon as you make the motion.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know last time was gonna be the last time.
the good news is there's
Mark
actually
probably
a
likes
meeting.
I'll let you go. I'll let you go.
Why
That's all
don't
right.
you be the third alternate and then you can go next time until I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
there you go.
right.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, cause it's tomorrow, or not tomorrow night,
Thursday.
it's Thursday night.
I'll be out of town
So I'm
anyway.
kind of volunteer.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'll be out of town anyway, so.
It's kinda like, it's not really good improvement.
So the
Yeah,
alternate, third alternate's gonna go next week, cause I'm out of town.
Yeah.
So Christie's gonna be, alright, so Deerfield, right?
Yeah.
We'll stay there. So anybody else is dying to have it? Government relations? Is that you?
Wasn't that you?
It
That
was
was
me.
Casey.
Oh, is that
Casey?
you? Oh, yeah.
You gonna stay?
And yeah, you can leave me on there, right?
I don't have him.
Yeah, Tyson does it, so.
He asked me. You don't have to worry.
Well, that's the job I wanted.
Site council.
I have to write that down for next year.
Were you that?
Yeah, that was me. I'll stay on that. That's fine.
Negotiations. That's Casey and I. If it keeps going like it did, I'll stay on there forever. Fine by me. But does anybody else want to do it? No?
No.
You gotta get an alternate.
No.
So we do need an alternate.
That was Christie, but by the time that rolls around, she won't be with us anymore, so.
Right.
Mary,
Negotiation?
she's gonna be
Yeah,
our
I
alternate.
can be the alternate.
And policy. Is that you two?
I am
That's
Marty.
three.
That's three. I'll do it again.
I don't care. I mean, they write all the policies for you, so it's really easy.
It is.
All you do is read them.
Yeah. Some of them you have to make fit your own, but.
Yeah.
I guess. You want it? It's not on here. Okay. Alright, so we have High Plains Mark with Mary and Christie as alternates. Deerfield Rec is Keith. Government Relations is Casey. Site Council is Mary. Negotiations is Casey and I with Mary as alternate. Policy Committee is Mary, Mark, and Isaac. Correct? Somebody want to make a motion to that effect?
Make a motion to approve those.
Second.
Christie and Casey, any more discussion? All in favor? 7-0. Nice. What's that?
Who tells High Plains to change who they contact?
I do.
Okay. So you give them
They've
an
already
email,
sent
all
us,
that good
they've
stuff. Okay.
already sent us the document to send to them with the changes.
Alright, so 9.2 is our appointments, which is board clerk would be Raina, deputy clerk would be Kelsey McEntee, treasurer, the board is Luke Holmes, Caper's designated agent, Raina, federal and state reporting officials, Tyson, food service determining officers, Heather, hearing officer, free and reduced meal applications appeals, Tyson, authorized representative for school nutrition, Becky Kenyon, attendance officers, Tyson, truancy officers are the principals for their respective buildings with the SRO, compliance coordinator for federal programs is Heather, appeals hearing officers, Tyson, coordinator of homeless children's Shane, freedom of information officer, Tyson, emergency preparedness officers, Tyson, KERMP designated rep is Tyson.
I will move that we approve those appointments as presented.
Christie and Mary on those. Any discussion? All in favor? 7-0. Doesn't have to be like all the three.
You guys did it in consent.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind. Okay, 9.3, consideration of cooperative agreement with Garden City Community College for enrollment of secondary pupils. Casey
I'll second.
and Mark. Any more discussion on that? All in favor? 7-0. Consideration to approve the high school, middle school handbook and coaching handbook for the 21-22 school year. Any discussion on any of those? Isaac? Makes the motion. Do we have a second? Christie? Any discussion on those before we vote from anybody? All in favor? 7-0. Consideration to approve certified classified building principal and substitute handbooks. Pointed out we left the superintendent handbook off of here. That's my fault. Do you wanna add it? Or you wanna wait?
We can add it, I would
I was gonna say, we get it all done.
Yeah.
So before we go there,
Can I talk?
Yep.
So I'm just gonna go over what you, like,
Okay.
your questions, just so everybody, is that okay?
Yep.
Alright, so Mark, he said some stuff, his first thing was about, in the superintendent's handbook, underneath, like, there's a thing that says personal leave should not be used at the following times during preschool orientation, the first and last weeks of school, during semester examination on scheduled and service days, during the regular school term and the prior day to the following regularly scheduled school vacation. There's nothing in there like that around vacation use for the superintendent, and so that would be an addition, would say, instead of personal leave, vacation time, and essentially not allowed to take vacation during preschool orientation, the first and last weeks of school. We will take out during semester examination, that doesn't pertain to the superintendent. And then also, it'll say on scheduled in-service days during the regular school term and the day prior to or the following day of regularly scheduled school vacation. So essentially just adding that into the handbook, so for giving some guidelines to when vacation shouldn't be used in the superintendent position, so.
Well, it basically follows what the principal,
Yeah,
too, I mean,
yeah,
what the principal, same thing, type of thing.
yeah, and it's on the principal change to be added, but they don't get vacation, but yeah, so. And then he had a question about personal sick leave, different from discretionary leave. That is, remember, discretionary leave rolls into personal sick leave. So any discretionary leave that's carried over from this year will now be personal sick leave and can only be used once all discretionary leave is used, and then it can only be used for illness. It can't be used for personal time or anything like that. It's like discretionary leave, so. And then he caught some things. One was it's a KSB policy that they have to, it's a typo in a KSB policy, but it'll be something that, which you guys saw in some of their, this year, they'll catch it and they'll make an adoption and a recommendation, so it just stays like that until they do that. He asked about the activity fund, with the changes in the fundraising. That'll need to stay in the handbook, in the employee handbook. It'll just, when we get this going, it'll need to be reworded and changed and stuff, because we always have to have an activities fund, so. And jump in, Mark, at any time too. He asked about half-price meals, not on lunch duty, but still supervising students. How it's always been done here is there's teachers who are on lunch duty. They're supposed to be up monitoring the cafeteria and stuff. They get their lunch for free. But if a teacher or teachers agree to go up and eat in the cafeteria, they can get a half lunch for half price. They're sitting there, and if there's a big issue or whatever, then they agree to help out with it or whatever and stuff. But essentially the different expectation is they don't have to be up. They're not officially on lunch duty. They're just up there to help in a situation or something like that.
So the only person to do lunch duty is a free meal?
Right. Yeah. That's the official lunch duty person. So.
How is that monitored? How does that monitor just?
Because it has to be volunteer, doesn't it? Or do you
Sign up.
guys
They sign up.
They sign up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can sign up just whatever day.
Yeah, I don't
Does
know, I
everybody
would have
have-
to ask, I can ask on if they do weekly or if it's every day.
I would say, does
So
everybody have to
I would think it
sign
would be
up for it?
weekly, but I don't honestly
Well,
don't
but-
know.
I guess my thought is, I'm not the official person, so I just walk in and grab my eat, and I get half a day, half price meal.
If you
Walk
stay
in
in
and
If
there.
they stay in the
If they stay in the
cafeteria, and
cafeteria.
You have to sit
and
there
they're
and eat.
monitoring.
Well, I eat and then I can leave.
No, they would be there during the entire
Lunch
the
period.
lunch period.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Which is not
They
that
do
long.
Right,
yeah,
you're gonna be lucky to eat in time.
Yeah, but some of those kids can be in a lot of trouble just a few minutes.
Okay,
So
I
I was
just,
wondering about the lunch monitoring.
We
I
had
mean,
issues.
it's no big deal from,
We used to have issues with that when I worked here 20 years ago.
Cause I know like one issue, the person that was supposed to be monitoring was sitting down with their back to the students one time.
Well, teachers would go in there, or staff would go in there and sit and get their meal for free or half price or whatever, but then if something happened,
right, I guess
it's
that's,
not my problem.
Yeah,
You know, it is
I see
your
what you're
problem.
saying.
they still, I mean, they still have responsibilities and we need to make sure that they're fulfilling those responsibilities for $2.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, but it's still,
Well, it's a duty to act thing. If you're a
Yeah.
teacher, you're a teacher.
yeah,
From this time to this time, if you
Mhm.
see something, you have to step in and do something. Period. I mean, it's.
so,
But I'll double check on how they do it.
okay, that's fine, I just,
My first job as a principal in my former district, like, I didn't even get a, hey, welcome to the district, like, we were like first day back and welcomes, you know, everything, and then I had like a couple of staff members come over and they were like, can we sit down and talk to you? And it was about lunch duty and how lunch duty was assigned, and I mean, it was a big old deal that I didn't even know was a big old deal. And so, anyway, so yeah, I can look into it.
Okay.
And then he caught some stuff that I'd missed, with proper being in two different fonts. So I got that fixed. I missed a name. We had an old employee's name in there still. And so he caught that, got that fixed. And then there's a part in there in the sub handbook that it has a sentence that talks about the price of adult meals, and then the next sentence says subs eat free, essentially. And so it's like, why is there a sentence before talking about the price? So we'll take out the sentence that talks about the price of the meals and just leave in the subs eat free. So it's a recruiting tool.
it's right.
So if you sub in Deerfield, not only do we pay better than anybody around,
You get to eat free.
yeah, we're gonna start advertising what we pay for subs, by the way, because like, who was it called you? Holcomb called, and they're like, you guys are outrageous.
Wow.
Like, with what you pay subs and stuff, we're better than School of the West, and so, like, we gotta start putting that out there, so.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And you can have your lunch too.
Yeah.
And you get to eat free.
Yeah.
Highest pay in the area, and you get to eat free, so.
Well, that definitely helps with the cost of gas to drive on.
And I'm not gonna go over these unless you have questions. But these are the principal and the superintendent handbooks that Jared and, Mark.
Because some of the things I'll say on mine, like on the superintendent handbook, like they're at the beginning taken out, superintendent can approve their own stuff. That to me didn't make any sense. And then a lot of places where
Okay, they don't have to.
left it on the board clerk to approve some things that I didn't think was necessarily fair to the board clerk either.
Okay.
But, I had asked Tyson about the vacation pay also. And my concern, 100%, is not with Tyson in any way, shape, or form. And I hope I've expressed that enough to him. Because the way it sounds is good. I don't know how to make it sound anything but bad. So the way it's written now is we have discretionary leave, vacation leave, and personal sick leave. And my question is, why don't we do away with vacation leave, bump up the discretionary leave a little bit? Because currently, if Tyson's here for 5 or 6 years, and I hope I didn't know, just like give him ideas on how to screw us. So vacation leave, it's an automatic 200 hours, you can roll over 40. So you could potentially have 240 hours of vacation leave in a year, the way it's written now. Plus 141 hours of discretionary leave. And if you roll over discretionary leave and the personal sick leave, you can get up to 560 hours of personal sick leave. So if you got the wrong person in that position at the right time that figured it out, that's over 900 hours of a 2,017 hour contract. That if they knew they were maxed out on everything and not coming back next year, could be sick a lot.
Yeah.
And I think we've seen what happens with an absentee.
It's a lot of it
administration.
is, a lot of it's fear. People don't like that thought process. If you look in the outside of the school, a lot of places that do like PTO, everything is built into PTO.
Right.
And it's all under one heading, but people don't like it because it's, I don't know if it's too much freedom and or what it is, but
no, it's
not
accountability on my part to use it right.
Right, but
As the employee.
that's the thing. People like the whole rules thing. They like, oh no, I get this much for this. I get this much for this much for this. When you just throw, let's say you get, I don't know, 600 hours of PTO annually, you know, whatever that is. And you say that you can roll over, I don't know, whatever you decide, 100 hours or 150 hours of unused. It's just a fear thing. If you can get people convinced of it, then it's beneficial. It's honestly beneficial for them to lump it all in as PTO. But people can't get over that hill a lot of the time when you talk to them about it.
Well, I don't think we have that problem right now.
No, but we gotta look for the future as we're doing this, so we don't have to keep looking at it over and over.
That's what I'm saying. I think we have the right people in place currently.
Yeah, because the thing is you're not gonna know it's a problem until it's a problem,
Right.
Right.
and then it's too late.
And I think, I mean, right now our teachers get 123 hours of discretionary leave on a 1,400 hour contract, whatever it is. Our principals get 132 hours, so they basically get one more day. And his is set up for one more day, so 2 more days than the teachers. So why not look at bumping that to something comparable, adding discretionary leave, doing away with vacation. Now, when we have, I mean, are you?
So what you're saying is take the vacation hours of 200 hours, put it into
I'm not saying all 200 necessarily, but.
He's talking about adjusting that number.
Making it a little bit higher.
I'm absolutely the wrong person to talk about this because.
You don't care.
Yeah. I'm here, like that's.
Well,
But we want it to be fair,
Yeah.
and so,
I think we talked about a little bit when he brought this up, we talked a little bit about too, you know, I've talked with some other superintendents, some of them are very similar to what this is. Some of them are different, they're, you know, they have about 15 days for like sick leave and personal leave, and then they have, you know, about 15 days or so, somewhere between 10 to 15 days of vacation time. But on those, there's no expectation that unless you just need to be here over the holiday breaks, that they're in the office over the holiday breaks. If that makes sense, right? And so, you know, if the expectation is if you're to be in the office over Thanksgiving, Christmas, spring break, those type of things, and if you're not in the office, then you need to use vacation time or whatever, then this is not that out of the realm, I don't think.
Yeah.
But if your expectation is, hey, we don't really care if you're in the office over Thanksgiving, Christmas, or spring break, if you need to be up there, you're gonna be up there and working or whatever. So you don't need to take any time if you're not in the office then and everything, then absolutely. And I don't, me personally, lumping it all under discretionary leave, that doesn't bother me or personally or anything, like, whatever. I just identify it as either vacation, personal, or sick, or whatever. I mean, it's just whatever it is. I mean, I think I
So-
used 40-some hours of vacation this year, so.
200 hours is basically 20 days to do 10-hour days.
I'm on 9, I mean, mine breaks down to 9, yeah.
Okay,
So it's 22 days, about 22 days on 200 hours, and about 15 days on the 141 for personal or discretionary leave.
So if we wrote it up to, like, the contract is to coincide with the school calendar. But you work through the summer, pretty much.
Yeah, it's a 12-month.
Yeah, it's 12 months, it's not 10. Because if that's the way that was originally written, was that vacation time is supposed to be used for Christmas break, Thanksgiving break, spring break. And so you're taking out 4, what, throughout the year, probably, how many days are we out?
That's 2 weeks, 8 days.
15 days probably throughout the year,
8, 12, 16 days over those 3 vacations.
times 9 is what?
16 times 9. Oh, you're asking the wrong guy.
138 hours, something like that.
14 times 9,
16.
huh?
16 times 9.
144.
Sorry.
And also the summer, what about summer?
So I'm just saying, if it's a 12-month contract, so you're expected to work the entire time, but we put in the caveat that spring break, Thanksgiving break, Christmas break, during basically the breaks during the school year, the expectation is you don't have to be here. That would essentially be 144 hours if it's 16 days. Right? So if you take that,
So you want the vacation to be 96 hours?
So you want to charge people vacation for
no,
paid holidays?
No,
so I'm saying, let's take away take the vacation out,
Okay,
and we put it in the understanding. School breaks, no expectation of work. Without using any leave.
mhm.
They're paid holidays. That leaves basically 96 hours of the 200
Mhm.
of vacation that he would supposedly have, maybe supposed to take.
I have,
So then if you add that to the 141, so if we say he gets 200,
237,
make it divisible by 9, whatever it is.
26 days.
So we'd have 26 days discretionarily.
and we're not gonna expect him to be here spring break.
Christmas,
Christmas
Thanksgiving.
break.
Basically any of the holiday breaks that we have during the school year.
Oh, you know. Yeah,
I was
I
gonna say,
didn't-
are you gonna be able to do?
Will he be then?
I'll be here, but that's not what we're doing here.
But it, like, even looking,
Yeah, I
I
worked,
didn't know.
yeah, we were,
The business office is open.
yeah, we worked all those breaks, so that was what we did, so I didn't take anything for spring break or Christmas break or Thanksgiving or anything.
What about if he wants to like a family vacation, like Because you're gonna have to use discretion. Okay, what if one year he's sick all year and he has to take sick days every week, he has some issue, whatever. What happens, and he wants to take a family vacation, what happens then? He can't take a vacation in the summer when his kids are out.
Not if you used all 26 days of discretionary leave.
Shouldn't be going on vacation.
But
Yeah.
things happen.
That might be the cure.
Maybe his vacation needs to be to where there's a hospital.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, things happen.
Well, you would technically be able to go on short-term disability if you were sick like that.
And I guess we have the sick leave bank too, so. he
Right,
has
and you
to-
have sick leave bank that you can pull from.
Looking
So-
though, like, if you were down the road with someone different, like, hypothetically, would there be reasons why you feel like there would be a need for the superintendent to be in the office any of those times?
I mean, there's,
I know you,
I feel like it's a slippery slope saying you don't have to be here during
Yeah.
Christmas break when, like you said,
reports and things like that.
I was gonna say, there's things that have to be turned
with
in.
other ones, yeah, and then they're gonna go, well, I don't, I'm not required to be here, so.
So and that's where, like my logic, my mindset about hiring somebody to do a job differs
I know where you're coming
from, because the way I look at it is we're paying you to do a job. And honestly, I don't care if it takes you 35 hours a week or 75 hours a week.
Yeah, it's
You're
that
getting
free and
paid to do
responsible
the
thing.
job,
yeah,
Right.
period. And as long as it's getting done,
100%
I don't
agree.
care.
But that's why we have all this stuff.
Oh, I know. I know.
Because not everybody thinks like that.
well, I'm just saying, like, if you're,
Vacation
if there's, someone, you know, that wants to, take advantage of the system and not, like you said, not get the job done, well, then they may not have a job much longer, but if there's like, you know, you're gonna be here anyway, I mean, is that fair to you that those are counting against you? Your time?
No, I mean,
But Jared, the board can say, no, he can't go on vacation, and if he goes, you don't pay him for those.
Yeah, we have to approve them.
You have to say if he can go or not, basically.
my bad.
So you can,
I guess I probably
you
can't
can
do
say
that.
no.
I did let you guys, I did put that in the board notes though, so you guys could have reached out.
There it is.
So,
No, say no.
I mean, I don't, reduce, and I don't know if it matters, I honestly can't answer the question in terms of, I don't know if it would matter if you were interviewing another superintendent and that came up, like, if that might deter somebody, you know, if they didn't have any vacation, if it was all, I mean, if they could.
I just know, which I know I told you.
Yeah.
When we sat down with, Mike, was that his name? Did the search for us?
Yeah, Mike.
Oh, yeah.
But he sat there and went on and on and on about, like, the amount of leave that we offer is crazy compared to other districts.
So if you're not comfortable, if you're not all comfortable with taking out vacation right now, then reduce the vacation number and leave vacation in there, but just reduce the number. And I honestly don't think you should be able to carry vacation over, like, whatever it is. It's use it or lose it. Like, there's no benefit to carrying over.
I agree.
I mean,
Sick leave, I
well,
see, I see a purpose in sick leave.
I see a purpose of it rolling over to personal sick leave. But we transitioned everybody else away from multiple types of leave to discretionary.
Except 12 months.
Huh?
12 months still get their vacation.
yeah,
I know,
like Randy gets vacation.
that's what I'm saying, but why not go discretionary across the board? Basically go to a PTO model. Across the board.
But you're not saying like I have to keep track of like all the extra hours I'm up here and stuff, are you?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not an accrued PTO, it's a
Okay.
given PTO.
Okay, alright. I don't wanna have to do that.
Accrued PTO can get, it's tricky.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want any part of that, so.
It can get, it's pretty in-depth calculation, start figuring out. gotta go to a time clock. Do we need to decide today?
No?
Approve the superintendent handbook and we can put it on August.
I don't know, I think maybe it'd be good to think it through a little more, I don't know.
I'm
What
good
do you
with
guys
that.
all think? Are you good?
Putting it off.
I'm also well aware that we have a superintendent this coming year. And we could potentially have a year to work on it.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
And I wouldn't say wait till this time next year to work on that.
Yeah.
Like, if we approve it as is, in the next couple of months, work on it for next year.
Yeah, it's fine.
That would be my vote.
Okay. So, all the handbooks are on the table, and we decided to add the superintendent in 9.5. So, does somebody want to make a motion to approve them?
Yeah.
With the corrections we talked about on, not what I talked about.
The other handbooks, yeah.
Casey
I'll second.
and Mary, any more discussion? All in favor? So. Alright,
Can we put this as old business or new business for 2 months down the line for the superintendent's handbook?
I can just make a note,
That way we don't forget about it?
yeah. Can we say 3 months?
Yeah.
alright, 9.6, consideration to approve a resolution to adopt new board policies as recommended to KASB and rescind prior year policies.
Oh, is that what we went over?
Chief Policy Committee.
That would be you three.
Osborne tried, Christy couldn't make it, so.
I do like the spreadsheet.
We have we need to do away with it. Tyson thought about the idea of telling everybody what they owe every month because some people still think I'm charging them more than I do the last month or all sorts of things. And I think if they know over the year what they owe, unless I send you a spreadsheet saying that you bought a new phone or you added a hotspot, then it changes for that month, they know that they owe extra, and then some people don't pay until they send us a cell phone bill. And for example, if the bills come out, supposed to come out on the 10th, I get them on the 19th of the month, because Verizon takes 2 weeks to send them to me for some reason, and it's 1,000 pages, and I'm not printing 1,000 pages of cell phone bills. That's a waste of paper. So some people won't pay until they get their bill, because apparently it changes every month.
We're not gonna get our bills anymore?
No,
Nope.
because it takes.
So how am I supposed to see who my dad gets his 7 text messages from?
You can come up and ask for it.
I can look at it?
You can
Okay.
come up and I'll have them in the office and you can come up and get them if you need them, but
We'll charge you to copy them.
no, I'm not.
Yeah, for a core request.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the idea behind that,
I
that
like it.
spreadsheet.
That's good.
It
takes
literally
us to
takes
get like
multiple
4
days for them to
to do the
scan
cell phone bill.
all the
4
cell
days.
phone bills, cause they
I've
come in
looked
like
at
the
it.
2 cents.
Maybe one was the entire time I've been on the plane.
Mine is, it's just, you don't like it, you can get it provided yourself.
Oh, fight.
I'm sorry, but it's a privilege. It's a benefit that it's out there for people, and if they're moaning and groaning about the benefit, they can go out on their own.
I know, well, they think the
Yep.
school owes it to them because they work there, so.
No,
Bad.
we're not a cell phone company, that's
Right.
That is just very much
And
not
that's-
true.
what Verizon's getting ready to make another change, what's that? You
So,
got a call
I-
about,
I got somebody wants to order a phone and send it to their whoever in Colorado. And I spent an hour with Verizon arguing why they should send it, and they said, this is the last time we're doing it, it's your government plan, and we're no longer doing it. That way, all your phones have to come to your organization. So if you order a phone, the person has to pick it up at your organization, because they come up with new policies and governmental things every month, so.
Why were they sending it to Colorado?
Because the person on the line lives in Colorado and it's an inconvenience, but they wanna get it to their house. And I'm like, oh my.
I thought it was good.
You have no idea.
Oh.
Outside of our families.
Well,
Not for the,
No, it's still the,
We still have.
for last year, people starting last year, but retirees that were on there, they were able to keep 15 people, the policy, they were able to keep
okay,
15
yeah.
people. Everybody from last year
That's why
on
I
now
thought
is
the
just
spreadsheet is so long.
yeah.
It's a spreadsheet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's gonna be another thing that people are gonna get upset about, but we have no control over, is that since we're part of that government plan, they're no longer will ship to your address, you know, so.
So what do you
So
do
the-
when they call here and demand that the school ships something?
Yeah, so
Absolutely not. Yeah, so the person who owns it, whoever's on the account, comes and gets it, and they can ship it, but the school's not paying for shipping to their person.
I can see that.
Yeah,
So the phone would be sent here,
yeah,
and then whoever's the head of the account is the only person that can come in and pick that phone up.
I'm assuming that'd be the only person that would wanna come pick it up, because if it's supposed to be shipped to Colorado, but they can't, yeah, so.
Well, but mine was, okay, I happen to be back. I still think we need to have it, only the person who's responsible for that bill is the only person that can pick it up.
Yeah, and I think that
Every
happens.
month.
Well, I just,
Yeah.
that way there's
Somebody not should say get a phone or something.
Yeah.
other family members.
Yeah. Have a family dispute and not know about it.
okay, so,
Sorry,
no, it's good,
I digress.
I like them. So do we have a motion to approve the policy updates?
Oh, sure.
I'll second.
Mike and Chief, any more discussion? All in favor? 7-0.
Since I said on that.
We have copies of the policy book, if you ever wanna just come through and read it all, like,
It's quite
it's
interesting.
right there.
No, this isn't it, because this doesn't have the handbooks in it.
Oh, yeah.
And then I approved it. If you want a copy, we can always keep one.
It's great reading.
I know, comes in handy sometimes. Okay, so 9.7, Tyson already talked about the revenue neutral rate. So the recommendation from KSDE to get to our county clerk is we need, so I'll make the motion to exceed the revenue neutral rate for the 21-22 fiscal year. So it's not written right on the agenda. The motion needs to be to exceed it.
To exceed.
Huh?
So motion to exceed, all motion.
I did,
Oh, you did all
I
second.
need a
then.
second.
Kinda real
Yeah,
Okay, so on this, we will email you before we send it to the county clerk on the 20th, but we're still, there's no way we cannot exceed the revenue neutral. That's gonna be impossible, like, and so it's just gonna be what is the number that we are, and that's what we're working through, and hopefully by
On Thursday.
Thursday, we'll have it completely wrapped up, but, which will change things. We're all used to August being where we have the budget hearing and everything, and then we have to have the bill approved and published by the 25th. That's all gonna get kicked to September now. And so we'll have to have a budget revenue neutral rate hearing now, and then we'll have to approve the budget, and then it has to be published by September 20th and everything. So all of that will take place before the board meeting in September. The official board meeting will have a budget revenue neutral rate before the board meeting in September. So, but that'll all get kicked a month now is what the new law is, so. But we will email you what it actually is gonna be, that number's gonna be. So currently, our revenue neutral rate's like 53 from the county. They give us what the revenue neutral rate is. It's like 53.61 mils is what the revenue neutral rate is. And so we're going to exceed that.
get that broke out.
It is,
What
on
is that
paper I
cost?
can show you.
General is 20.
capital is
Capitalized
8,
is 8, and
and then our LOB is at
LOB is
23.7 something or 6.1 or something like that right now. So that's where they're at right now. So, which general won't change. General's always 20. Capital's at max at 8. So it's going to be the LOB that will change.
I just mean as far as property owners. Is that gonna change what they pay property tax wise? Cause that's the question that
Oh, it could.
Yeah, it could.
I
We don't
always
know
get.
that, all of it yet. We will, but we don't know all of that yet. I got an email today I'll forward you from a superintendent. He's actually he took Del Dennis's place. But he put an explanation out explaining kind of all of this and how the mills with property taxes and what that means and how much actually raises and different things like that and stuff. So I'll forward you that, because it'll be a lot easier for you to read than me to try to explain.
It'll be easier to explain when people call.
Yeah, so I'll forward that to you. So, sorry.
Owner evaluations
Valuation went down.
down again a little bit. I'm hearing.
Which it looks like our real estate went down, which I don't understand how our real estate went down.
Well, I can show you some appraisals.
So,
Cycle,
huh?
cycle,
Mhm.
take a 10-year cycle. Cycles through,
Yeah,
I mean, or thereabouts.
I just didn't get it because the real estate's so crazy around here that I didn't understand why real
But
estate.
it's just, they
Big
don't,
cycle. Plus
they-
inflation is,
they try to smooth it out more by doing it over a time period.
Okay, so I made the motion, Mary seconded. All in favor? So. Okay, so we still have just the one letter for interest in the rec board. We did advertise it. We did our due diligence. In my opinion. So Pamela Bennett is the only letter that we received.
Insider.
Motion to approve.
She lives here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Christie. Keith. All in favor? All opposed? 6-1.
That'll get me in trouble.
Next. It's just a rarity that I see that.
Huh?
It's just extremely rare in a school board meeting that I see that, it's not me. All right, I'll make the motion, the board go into executive session. Ernest Slinger to discuss classified certified personnel pursuant to non-elected personnel exception under coma, and that we return to the open meeting at.
Then you'll come back and kick me out. Are you gonna do that?
Yeah. Oh, let's just do, how long do you need?
Total?
Yeah.
Maybe 10 minutes.
Go for 15.
Well, no, because they're going to go in.
At 5.
Yeah, let's go 9:20
Is that with a
after a
break?
short break.
Is that with a break? I'll second.
All in favor? 7-0. Alright, so consideration of employment matters. So I'll make the motion, we approve Ashley Donovan as a long-term sub for the 21-22 school year. Manuel Lujan, high school, middle school, cross country. That is it.
Not that I messed up here. I forgot the motion. I like that to write.
I'll second that.
I move Chris to second. Any more discussion? All in favor? 7-0. All right. Make the motion the board go into executive session with Tyson and Raina. Discuss negotiation items pursuant to the exceptional employer-employee negotiation in Tacoma. And then we'll resume at 9:40.
Second.
Motion Mark seconds, all in favor?
They had at least 3
Anything
more
else?
minutes in there.
Huh?
They had at least 3 more minutes in there.
Oh, we're out.
No, we're out. Good out.
Okay. Final item. Good news.
I have one. Cornerstone Church, Christy knows about this, but we partnered with the district on the, English speaking classes and citizenship classes, however we're gonna define that, but we cut us a check for 10 grand for it, so we cover the remainder of what was left,
Sweet.
so.
It's awesome. The Cornerstone, they've funded it for this year, so we'll start in August. So we'll get going, rolling towards the end of August. We told Grace and we get school started, and she was freaking out a little bit to let us get school started with the kids and stuff, and then we get it rolling with the adults and stuff. So it'll be a combination. We're gonna have to fill it a little bit.
Who's teaching?
Grace will, and then we're gonna have to hire a para, probably. We're concerned about numbers, in terms of having a bunch, and so we might have to break it up into groups, and like certain groups come in certain nights and stuff, which that'll be a fill out then. It might be like one citizenship class, there's no time frame on the citizenship thing, it's just to help they get through. So it might be like 3 adult English classes a week and 1 citizenship class a week type of breakdown and stuff, so. And then we'll look at daycare and stuff like that. We're gonna hopefully be able to partner with kids who, if they're interested, like in the early childhood pathway that we offer, going into early childhood teaching pathway, to get some community service hours and stuff by working like daycare in the evenings and stuff like that, and different things like that, and possibly even pay, if we need to pay them a little bit to do daycare up there during the evenings and stuff. So.
And we'll work with you, we'll keep working with you. There's grants out there, that we can help you write or.
Yeah. We appreciate it, so we're excited. I know our families will be, they keep asking Grace and when's it gonna get started, when's it gonna get started. And we'll have that on the agenda next month for you all to officially accept that in, so. We'll have that on there.
Mine's not as good as his.
It's not a competition, Keith.
No, I was just saying, I was driving on the south side of town, looked up at the school, everything is looking nice. I was a little nervous with doing fertilizing and stuff ourselves, just, I mean, I know capable people would just change it like that, a little nerve wracking, but everything looks really nice.
Yeah, did a good job. Started to work on flower beds today, trying to get the flower beds cleaned out and thinned out quite a bit and stuff, so.
Around all of like $1 million for Deerfield Days, right?
That was my text message this morning, was to Gilbert, was we've got Deerfield Days coming up, and the week after that, we got enrollment on Wednesday, and so we need to push to the front so that it looks good when people are here, so, yeah.
Oh, it was good. Last Deerfield Days, we want to open up school a little bit, like Friday night,
Alright, bringing you
people can come look.
Hold on.
Remember last year we had our meeting and, sorry. We had some visitors come walk through. We kind of talked about
Yeah, we
maybe
did.
opening up school.
Yeah, we
Friday
had
evening.
alumni walk through.
Yeah,
I
But are
know
they doing the
they found
alumni
an unlocked
banquet
door.
this year?
they're doing like I think they're doing
Saw
like
it on
a,
Facebook, but I didn't know if it was.
they're doing like a meet and greet or
Yeah.
kind of, not a
Jennifer-
dinner, but
Jennifer Weidberg emailed me, and I think this is what she was talking about, was they were wanting to use the library to try to bring in alumni and have a meet and greet and share about the alumni and stuff.
I just remember last year we talked about it when,
Yeah.
what's his name?
What was that?
It's unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave.
Oh, he showed up, yeah, in the middle of the
Him and
And
his
then we
wife
kind
you
of talked
showed
about
us.
maybe we should open up a school.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
No, you're
Sorry,
fine.
Isaac.
Alright, you said what about trap team?
They did pretty good for being as young as they were.
You stole my thunder.
Actually had something this time.
It's fine.
Brandon.
Nope, nothing here.
I would have, I might go like totally different in the website. It's so nice to go to the website and be able to pull like the calendar up and know what's going on. I had to do that today to try to figure out just like August. So
The minutes back.
that website finally getting up to date to where it's actually has information on it. It's very nice.
Thank you.
I hope that keeps going.
Yeah, we're working. It's not where it needs to be yet by any means.
No, but it's
we're
way
getting
better
there.
than it was.
Yeah, so Matt, Mr. Nunhoff is
Yep.
taking over that
Can
stipend.
hurry up and get the school supply list on there like this week. That'd be awesome. So I'm trying to get ahead of the game. I couldn't find them.
It's all.
It's a Facebook, I'll send it to you.
Well, we found the grade school one. I can't find the middle school, high school
I
one.
don't think
So,
that's been
yeah,
figured out, so, yeah.
okay. The grade school one we got, so. just
And I
get that one
created
out.
just-
Parents can start shopping.
I created an official, I don't know if you've seen it, but I was uncomfortable with like the elementary and the middle school, high school Facebook pages are kind of like, no one really knew when I got here who was in control of those or anything, and so that made me a little nervous. And so I also, it's a lot of different pages to post stuff to, and so I created an official USD 216 Facebook page that only myself and Shane and Heather right now will have, and if other people might want, we put together like maybe a training course and stuff that they have to go through to be able to post. And so we have a official Twitter page and official USD 216 Facebook page that just will share.
Are you going to shut down the other two then eventually, or?
I'm leaving that up with the building principals to, if they wanna keep running them, to share like certain things, like just what's going on in their building and stuff. We'll highlight on the district page, but we'll push out information and stuff and everything, but,
So we know like exactly which page to look at.
yeah. So, I would hope that those pages maybe just turn more into sharing of pictures or whatever and happenings, you know, and stuff going on and information all comes, should come from
Yeah,
the
that's what I
district.
was gonna say,
Yeah,
all the
because that
information,
district-
if it all comes from the official one, that's
Yeah.
probably best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of like my Spartan chats this year will be done straight on the district Facebook page. I've asked Mr. Burns and Mrs. Ball to only post information through the district, official district page and stuff.
Okay.
Just trying to
To have
streamline it.
one,
It's a
yeah.
lot of work to try to keep up with all these different pages and stuff.
Well, I was impressed with the cheer team presentation, and I love it when they get to go to other places and be around, kids from bigger towns and like going to the Shrine Bowl and just being able to learn from them, and it sounds like they have some good connections, and then just, I like the fact that we, are having the cheer camp here. It's really good.
Sunday was cool.
So I walked down the hall on Saturday. It was loud.
Oh, it's loud.
Oh, you should, yeah.
Sunday was loud, but they all, the cool thing, so they were mixed in there, because we only had our middle school, but other schools had their high schools and their middle schools. All those kids got along. Like, it was awesome to see. They all cheered each other on. It was
pretty cool.
It was really neat.
Yeah, they were sitting with each other. Yeah, when one school got up to cheer, all the schools like cheered with them. It was while they're watching. It was pretty neat.
Yeah,
So,
it was very well done.
Yeah, I remember when Caden was cheering and they
Yeah.
went to those camps.
I hope we
that
can
were
keep that here because that was pretty.
Well, it'll be nice when we do our fundraiser. We don't have to go do all that fundraising to do that.
Yeah.
good. Right.
To do those, have those opportunities.
And then Caitlin, the little blonde, she turned in the most St. Jude's Children's fundraiser flyers that came with it. Do you
Yeah,
remember how
the letter's
many?
12.
She turned in 12. So out of all the girls that were there, she turned in 12 to send out to families. They send it out and like people can scan the QR code and donate to St. Jude's. And she turned in the most. I thought that was.
Pretty neat. That's the
That was-
affiliation, UCA, that's their
Yeah.
affiliation. They're affiliated with
So she
St. Jude's.
got recognized for that. So that was
Oh,
pretty
that's
awesome.
nice. Yeah.
They did good. The middle school, it was so much better than last year as far as like working together and like their skills were pretty good.
I'm hoping to see some of the stuff they learned, like used for like halftime shows and stuff
Mhm.
this year, start get back into the swing of that. It'd be really good.
So
They have a good number out.
why,
We'll be good here in 2 years.
my only question would be is, I mean, Cheryl made the comment, it's in, the shrine wasn't Pittsburgh this year. And why are they writing that, why are they writing that off already?
I don't know, that's why I
I
didn't.
think that I think she's referring to like
There's a policy.
there was a policy that you couldn't go to
So many miles,
so
and she
many
said it
miles
was
away.
But we can
There
waive it.
supposedly used to be an unwritten or there was a policy that we never found in writing.
Right.
It was 500 miles, but that's still within 500 miles, even if it's that.
She
Yeah,
might be
well.
thinking like round trip, and most
Yeah, I
distance
don't know.
policies are one way.
Not that you go for a stadium, but Pitt State Stadium is
Yeah, that's awesome.
freaking awesome.
That's where
I mean, it's the best college stadium in the state by far.
For the size of it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Well, I just think it's good to give the girls those opportunities to get out and see and maybe encourage them more.
Yeah, you get them on campus.
Taking them to these colleges.
Which is, yeah, get them out there looking and see
honestly,
these,
the mine went to
because some of
Washington
them,
DC, so I don't know, like.
Yeah, that's what,
Yes.
I don't know, but yeah,
in
that's,
Iowa. Well,
Pitt State's cool. That's where
He's
Shelley's
always-
brother, when he played in the Shrine his senior year, that's where it was at. And that was
it would be cool to take them.
I didn't go to Michigan.
Well, we don't have a lot of high school girls, so it's not like you're taking, you know, it'd be different if the roles were flipped, because there's a ton of middle school cheerleaders.
I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily want to write that off yet.
Yeah, well, it might be a thing to encourage her with.
You know, there's a lot of things we don't do, like, you know, when we had band, we used to always go to state there, and there's all these other opportunities that have kind of drifted or have disappeared over the years as the school has changed. So the more
Yeah.
opportunities we can give them, the better.
I'll share with her and
Okay.
just that if she's not thinking about doing it because it's mileage or whatever, that's not an issue.
That's a good school too. And you want to talk about a CTE school? Holy smokes. Another college we went to that tech facility. I offered Ryan Rude my resignation. Wanted to go enroll in about 14 programs. Looked cool.
Katie and Lauren, I don't know if they've gotten accepted, but we're gonna split, the state will pay half of it, and then we'll pay the other half. But they run like a CTE mentoring program through Pitt State, and Lauren and Katie both asked if they could be in that program and so we applied and sent it into the state for them to be in that CTE mentoring program for 2 years through Pitt State.
That's cool.
And so I would say, I think the CTE stuff, the work that's been done, that word is getting around to more than just parents at this point. I mean, I said before, I know for a fact we're getting at least 3 students from our neighbors that we lost to our neighbors. And one of those is strictly because of that. Be willing to take classes that doesn't necessarily think they're a college-bound student at this point. Doesn't really like school, but really likes the idea of being able to learn something useful that they can make some money with without having to go. Just have I hammered it to them. They have to go to college to get a degree after they're done. And I think that will continue. So I'm pretty pumped about I'm still pretty pumped about that direction that we're headed. I think it will pay off. In the long run.
Is that your hoodoo?
That is my good news.
Just to clarify, right?
All right, anything else?
Thank you.
We are adjourned.
Barely made it.
Straight up 10
I
o'clock.
wanna, one more minute.
Yeah, can we go one more minute?
9:59.
Oh,
We're going.
9:59.
We got out before 10.
And for the record, I was standing, ready to say the pledge before Raina stood up tonight too. So, I've been on it twice.
Yeah.